Hey guys, this is Percy Conley with CalCity.ca. I'm going to do the transaxle on this 2019 Nissan Versa. Just recently bought it. Tranny's giving me issues. I put in a new valve body and it's still acting up. It runs fine when it's cold, but as soon as it warms up, it starts slipping and bucking and all that. So I went to the auto wrecker, pick and pull, and I grabbed this transaxle out of a 2009 Nissan Versa SL, same as this car. I think it was $154 or something like that. And when I drained the fluid, it was nice and green, the filters were clean, everything looked good. So I am going to pull this one apart, and some of my lessons learned, I'll talk about it just first of all. When I first started taking this apart, I've seen on a couple of other videos the guys are taking off the intake manifold. That gives you room to not only get the starter out, which is right down here, right there, but to get the torque converter bolts undone. You have to kind of tick the torque converter over and undo the bolts. I did those first when I was at the auto wrecker, just to make sure I could get them undone. And then the other hard part was actually the 18mm bolts that hold the transmission to the block. Those are kind of a pain in the butt, and I actually left one in at the very back. So the first thing I'm going to do is make some room to actually So I've taken off everything here that gives us access. We have to undo the linkage here. And then I'm gonna leave this on for now. But it gives us access to the bolt. There's two bolts that are hard to reach. One of them is the back, right where my finger is. You have to reach it from underneath the car. But this one here is right there, and another one just down there. Those are 18mm. And then to get the starter out, it's a pain, but we have to pull off this box and pull off the intake so we can get some throw with the ratchet. So there's 4 10mm that hold on the bottom here, and then there's some 8mm right here on the throttle body. And I think we have to undo right here. These are 12mm. So we'll undo this to get access into there so we can start undoing the torque converter bolts. So I'll just pull this top stuff off. Okay, so I just got the starter out. I'm just going to, I can actually see one of the bolts right now. So what I'll do is I'll undo that 14 millimeter. It works best with a longer socket, and then use the shaft. Use the shaft of the socket, the 14 mil here. When you get it down on here, like so, you can use the edge of the socket to actually hit the edge of the housing to get your torque to undo it. You don't have to try to hold the teeth. I was trying to do that at the junkyard and it took frickin' forever. So I'm gonna put this on, start busting this loose. It's tight quarter, so I won't film it, but I'll show you when I get the first bolt off what it looks like. Okay, so I just used my 14 mil, had to use the long snipe and just crack the bolt loose. So I'm just gonna use my fingers now and pull the nut out. I don't know if this will be close enough or what. I'm gonna see if I can show. How I walk the this is where it's going to be fished. Put it back in. I'm doing this. A lot of these cars, well, every car.
And then put the aftermarket cans and stuff in there. It seems to draw a lot more oil. There's no filter on the PVC.
Don't strip. Huh? 4. 1 second. It's not. It's just got a little bit of tightness to it.
This thing's doing. Nice.
So we actually strip the nut. We have to resort down to, is that going to autofocus there for me? We're actually trying to cut the knot off with a Dremel now because the new transmission has good studs on it, and I actually have new bolts. So we're going to cut this one off. Hopefully we don't have to do it to the other ones too. So we got the bolt off, the nut off, and it is Dremel, air hammer, everything, but we got it off. What a pain in the A. Alright guys, so we have the car jacked up. We just took off the lug nuts. This is a 30 mil. They came off actually pretty easy. We're just going to come in and undo the 2 spindle bolts, the tie rod end, and this will drop down, and then we can let the axles loose. So we're just going to go ahead and do that right now. On the passenger side, there's 3 17 mil bolts on the carrier. So the shaft goes for a certain level. Then there's a carrier shaft. That carrier shaft has to be undone as well, and those are 17 mils. So let's take it apart. So we got this side undone. Sorry we didn't video it. It was kind of a pain in the ass, but we got the tie rod end out. We got the axle out on my car. This is actually a eccentric bolt that goes in the top to adjust for the a little bit of camber and caster. So we didn't know it was doing that, so when we undid it, we didn't take note of where this was. but I think we can see on the video when I go back to which way it was adjusted. So hopefully I can figure it out. So we're just gonna do the other side. There is, oh, can't see from here. Need a purple thumb.
Here, you walk it.
So underneath there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm leaving the 7th bolt in there right now. Because as you can see, it's already starting to separate. So the weight of the engine is actually is going to be in our favor, but we're going to have to kind of prop it down a little bit to get the tranny out anyway. So once I get my help here to help me hold it, we'll be able to take out this last bolt, take out the top motor mount, lower the whole assembly down, and then pull it apart. So I'm just undoing the gear shift linkage. There's basically a clip that comes on right here, basically like the brake liners or whatever. On the junkyard one, this was dirty-ish, but I undid it here. What I'm going to do is just undo the bolt here to pull this apart and then keep all the linkage together. The other one is also centered, quite center on this pin, so I'll just make sure this is the adjustment that I'll use to make sure the linkage is set up correctly after. And then I just unplugged this as well. So we just made sure all of the wiring harness is unplugged. There's a couple of ones that attach with the little Christmas tree kind of plug-ins. So undid the last of those. Undid the top motor mount. Everything else is loose. The lines, coolant lines, are undone. So everything's ready to go. Everything's actually unbolted. So for safety, we have a tire to catch it if it bounces, and we have a piece of wood and the floor jack underneath it. Don't have a tranny jack, but we should be able to slowly weasel that out. So I'll just reset up the camera and we'll drop this thing down. Well, if you pull it, now jack it up a little bit. I think you just have to pull it a bit forward. Okay, now drop her down a bit. Freaking torque converter stayed in. Let's hang in on. Oh, one more plug.
We gotta take that tranny line off. That coolant line.
Okay, jack it up a little bit. A bit more. Oh, this cord is really stretched to the max. Right back here.
Okay, hold on to it.
There it goes.
You get it?
Yeah.
Now we gotta get this off. There's another 10
Oh, battery's dying.